his youngest son basically left home after receiving an inheritance, and then he basically spent it all. And then basically his life started to deteriorate. Trying to get back on his feet, he went through hardships working at farms and tending party pigs. Finally, he decided to go back home with the mindset that he would not be welcomed back, and he was willing to become a servant and not a son to his father. But the son experienced what was not expected. In Luke chapter 15, verse 20, it said, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. His father welcomed him back as a son, and basically like my life can relate somewhat to like his son. I was born in a very faithful Christian family. When I was younger, I lived with my mom's side of the family with my grandparents. I used to know who Christ was and who God was. I went to church on every Sunday, and my aunt was actually the Bible teacher who taught all the little kids church, and she taught me the Bible about God. And from what I remember, when I was little, I used to pray to God every single morning, before every meal, and before I went to sleep every night, thanking for everything He's given me. But basically, everything changed when I moved away from the church I originally went to, and moved away from my grandparents. In the 3rd grade, I moved to Long Island from New Jersey, and basically, I was very happy. My new house was very bigger than the house I used to live in. Basically, I had a pool, had 4 floors, and I had 2 rooms for myself, one as a bedroom and one as basically a playroom. But and I was excited about it. And basically, when I moved to Long Island, basically the commute to go to my church in Jersey was so too far. So basically, my mom decided to go to the Korean churches near my home, but then she didn't like any of them because most of the churches, the Korean churches in Long Island, people didn't go to worship God. Rather, it was like a social gathering where like people like gossip and they basically competed with each other in the sense like my husband has a better job, or basically my kid is smarter than my kid, or yeah, basically I drive a BMW, which drives a town car. Yeah, so basically my mom hated that whole thing basically, and then we stopped going to church around there. But then my grandma urged my mom to keep going to church. So basically my mom decided to travel a little part of Flushing, where on my dad's side of the family, she goes to church, and then we went to that church. But then it was still too far, so every week we went, and then eventually we went every other week, and then eventually we stopped going overall because it was just too far to go. Then my grandma urged my mom to just send me and my sister to an American church around town, but then my parents were speaking English. They didn't feel comfortable sending me and my sister to an American church without any supervision. Basically, I asked my mom every week why we didn't go to church, but then eventually I stopped asking her because basically like ever since I stopped going to church, basically like Sundays were basically a free day where I could sleep more, I could watch TV, I could basically play more video games, and basically go on like day trip with my parents. And basically I forgot about church. I feel like the most like terrible mistake my parents made in my life was to move to Long Island. Yeah, basically because of the fact that I lost faith in God and God became a complete stranger in my life. Basically, after we moved to Long Island, basically my life started to go downhill. Basically, like I said, like we moved to a bigger house. basically like the day trips that we went to, my dad really loved Atlantic City. And basically my dad became a gambling addict. Um, basically his addiction was so severe that basically he took out a second mortgage to the house, and eventually we lost the house and we were forced to move out. And then basically my mom, who was just a housewife, she never worked once in her life, she started to work because she had to help support our family, because my dad couldn't support it by himself anymore. And basically, since we moved to our second move, basically I used to stay home alone all the time because my sister became a teenager, and then basically she started to rebel against my parents, and she never stayed home. Basically, I'm a complete opposite of my sister because I see how my sister treats my parents, so I try not to be like her. And basically, my sister started to hang out with the wrong group of friends. Basically, she started hanging out with more Koreans. Basically, like, because of this, I personally, like, I'm Korean, but then I hated that I was Korean. Because of my sister, I hated every Korean kid that was around me. Like, I don't have any Asian friends. Basically, like, in school, I was, like, the only Asian kid around, like, surrounded by white kids. Basically, like, if you, basically, I was like the one onion ring that was in like a French fry pack or Burger King. Like there's like a surprise one onion ring being basically I really hated my sister's friends because they basically like most of them were Koreans that just came from Korea. They weren't born here. But basically their mentality was a little different with how they hang out with friends. Basically they acted like they were in a Yakuza or a gang. Basically, like the younger boys would like bow down 90 degrees to the older kids and say like big brother in Korean to them. Like I really didn't like that. And then a couple of years ago, basically the church I used to go to in Jersey, basically they had a retreat that they've been doing for every year for the past 15 years that they have been open. And then my aunt wanted me to go, and I decided to go because I remembered a lot of good memories I had from going to all those different Bible retreats and summer camps from my church when I was little. But then I really regretted it because a couple of the older kids were getting, basically they were using drugs during the retreat and getting drunk and high. Basically that kept me more distant away from the Asians. Like I said, my personality, I try to be different from my sister, and I try to be different from my parents, because like my parents are somewhat like basically they're not really like the giving type. They don't really like helping people. So I try to not be like them, so I try to help people out. My parents like this word no a lot. Everything is a no. But then basically that made me into a person that I can't really say no when people ask something from me. Basically no was not even part of my lexicon. When someone asks me to do something, whether it's simple or really hard, I can never refuse them and say no. Basically, in my past jobs, when I was still in high school, when my bosses and managers knew I was still a student, they asked me to work overtime or they asked me to work double shifts and basically shifts during the school hours. Basically, I used to say yes, and I used to work and not go to school in high school, because and then my mom allowed me to do that because she knew that I was capable of making up the work. And so basically, like it didn't have really an impact in my school, but then yeah, basically it could have impacted it a lot, because my mom really needed help paying the bills, so I had to work more. And basically, I sacrificed a lot because of my family. I sacrificed going to my dream school because even though I got a half scholarship, the other half was too much to pay for. And I also refrained from wanting to achieve the dream career I wanted. Ever since I was little, I really wanted to be a chef, but then I knew that this career didn't guarantee an economic stability, so I gave up on that. Unlike the son in the passage, I didn't have a realization into coming back home, in which this case the home for my home is the house of God. For me to stand right here in this very spot, it's somewhat surreal, as it happened out of nowhere and all of a sudden. Even though it's only been 7 months since I returned to Vine and started to attend NYUVF, God started to guide me here starting 6 years ago. Basically, I'm a very frugal person. I like to basically put coupons on the weekends, and I really like free things. And 6 years ago, I had an opportunity to visit Korea for free. But then a couple of weeks before I was planning to leave to Korea, my dad suffered an aneurysm. Basically, and this happened exactly 6 years ago from tomorrow. Basically, my grandma, his mom, basically she didn't want me to go to Korea because she wanted me to stay next to her and basically like nurse him because he was going through basically like physical therapy and stuff. Because like my mom had to work, and then basically everyone in my family knew that my sister wouldn't stay around home to take care of my dad, so she really wanted me to stay and not go. But this was the first time I said to someone that I wasn't going to do it, I was going to do what I wanted to do. And then basically like I felt guilty when I got on the thing to go to Korea. But then thinking about it now, I'm really glad that I said no and I didn't go to Korea, because when I went to Korea 6 years ago, basically I met my cousin who basically helped me come here to this church. Because if you don't know my cousin, he was here when I first came here. My cousin is basically a strong, faithful Christian, but he's not. He doesn't go to a UBF in Korea. He goes to a different church. But then when he was here 6, 7 months ago, he was here with his friends. If you know, there were 2 Korean doctors that were interviewing for residency late last year and earlier this year. And then basically late last year, when I was still living in Long Island, basically my cousin wanted to bring me to church, but I didn't really want to go. So I sent him to an American church that was like around the corner in my neighborhood. And then when we decided to move to Flushing in January of this year, basically my cousin was committed to coming here to come to this church because his friend Yushik told him how good this church is. Basically, my cousin tried to convince me to come here with him. And when he said that the church name was NYUVF, I assumed that the NYU University is the same. So like I was thinking, why is he going to drag me to the city, all the way to the city to go to church? But then I found that it was in Flushing, and he convinced me to go because I live around like 10 minutes by walking away from here. And then basically his argument was that he didn't want to come here by himself because he's a foreigner and he's called like directions. That's why I came along with him. Because that, I wouldn't say no if that was the reason. When I first walked into the front doors, I was very surprised. Like when the father welcomed his son, everyone here welcomed me and my cousin. I was thinking this will be the same old Korean church on Long Island that I'm used to. But everyone here came up to me and introduced me to themselves with kindness and welcomed me with a warm heart. And I was really amazed and shocked. I haven't seen a church like this before. Basically, like I saw like how there's a vast variety of people here, and basically like no one really judges anyone else here. Um, since coming here, I feel my life has changed a lot in a good way. Um, First of all, my grandma was very happy that I started to attend church because she used to call me every Sunday night or Monday and ask me if I went to church the day before or in the morning. And like I used to say no, and she would give me a whole lecture on why you have to go to church, and then basically all the benefits. So basically, like basically she used to call me every week. But then like every 3 weeks I would lie to her saying that I did go to church. And then basically every time I try to say like how are you, she said I'm very busy, and then she hangs up on me. Because she just wanted to see if I go to church or not. Yeah, so but I feel like my grandpa, who passed away 2 years ago, will be very proud of me coming to church. Because my grandpa was and still is my role model. My grandpa was also actually a missionary. I didn't know that. Basically, when my mom was little, he went basically he left his children and his wife in Korea, and he went to Saudi Arabia by himself for about 5 years to work and spread the words of God. And then basically, like, my aunt used to tell me how people used to make fun of her because people thought that she didn't have a father. But then basically, she said that God like basically gave her faith, and then she basically ignored everyone who made fun of her. And then after my grandpa came back, he decided to take basically all his family, all his like 5 brothers and sisters to Paraguay, where he continued to spread the word of God. And then basically he eventually ended up in New York, and New Jersey. And then basically 2 years ago, my grandpa passed away. Basically, everyone was shocked when they heard that my grandpa passed away, because when we called people saying that my grandpa passed away, people automatically assume that my grandma passed away because my grandma has a really bad health condition. About 15 years ago, my grandma suffered a stroke, and she's semi-paralyzed on the left side of the body. So basically, for 15 years, my grandpa has been taking care of my grandma. With that, my grandpa basically raised me and my sister, and then eventually after we moved out, he raised my little cousins. So basically, and during his funeral, many people came to the service to mourn for him. And then there were the flower wreaths, they were sent from all over the world, from Saudi Arabia and Paraguay and Korea, to mourn for him. And there were many people at the funeral. There were so many people, and then we didn't even know half of the people that they knew my grandfather. There were so many people that basically the funeral home had to open a second chapel in the next room and had to basically stream a video feed to the other room to show the memorial service. And then my aunt basically told me to look around at these people, and she told me how great my grandpa was, how a good person he was, and I knew that he was a good person. And then she added that he was a good person because he had a lot of faith, and he was very faithful to God, and now he's in heaven. But then at that time, I just nodded my head and said whatever. At that time, I was very furious because my grandpa passed away all of a sudden, and basically God took him away from me and my family. And basically because of that, my grandma was forced to be in a nursing home because no one could care for her because she couldn't live by herself. And basically I was so angry at God that I believed that there was no such thing as God 2 years ago. But now I realize that I believe that basically God, there is a God, and basically my grandpa's with God in heaven, and he's with God, like looking down upon me and leading me to the righteous path. I'm very grateful because I have met many generous and nice people since coming to NYUBI, like the missionaries and all of them. I'm very sorry, but I still don't know how to do names, but it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very horrible with names and faces. And basically, like, I was happy because I met all of the nice people. And basically, I was also happy because I also get to meet Yongsu, who is currently in Canada right now. And basically, if you want to know how he is, he's doing well. Basically, he's still adjusting to the life in Canada, but I feel like by the time he's adjusting, he's going to be turned back to Korea. He also started his language school about 2 weeks ago, and basically he said that's going well also. And basically, I plan to visit him in a couple of weeks because it's his birthday coming up. And basically, I feel bad for him like, staying there all by himself in the north. So, I'd like to also thank all the missionaries, especially missionary James, Anna, and Anna, who I do Bible study with every Sunday. And I really especially want to thank missionary Rebecca Kim, who I do one-to-one Bible study with, and helped me to rebuild my faith in God. She's the one who encouraged me to come up here and give my testimony. But I always told her every week I didn't want to do it because I'm not very proud, facing person. Basically, to tell you the truth, my faith in God is not to the level of faith I used to have as a child, and it's not 100%. But I feel that through the Bible studies that I do with missionary Rebecca, I'll be able to basically exceed the amount of faith I had back then. And back to verse 24, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. For more than 10 years I've been lost, and basically my faith in God was nearly dead. But coming to NYUBI, coming back to God for one time.